I wanted to talk to you about asking someone about their intentions. So, when it comes to this idea of often hear women talk about, if you want to know whether or not a man is serious, then you need to just go ahead right off the top and ask him, what are your intentions with me? And I honestly have a problem with you asking that question. Here's why. Hey, Miss Sheba. Here's why I have a problem with you asking that question. Three reasons. One, not just men, but people in general can lie. So if you're trying to find out what someone's intentions are with you and you come out straight and ask it, they may or may not tell the truth. Hey, Bailey. So that's right off the bat. Number two, you know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So even if you're with someone who really wants to be in a serious, committed relationship, just because they intend for it, that does not mean that they have the skills or the capacity to be in a healthy relationship. I have intentions all the time of eating healthier. Does that stop me from going to the grocery store and buying junk food? Absolutely not. So, when you're asking someone's intentions, it's great to know that they want to be in a healthy relationship, but have they done any work healing themselves? How are their communication skills? Like, you don't know those things. And number three, when people really want something, thanks, Olivia. When people really want something, they will do the work to be prepared for it. So I have seen this in relationships where someone wasn't necessarily ready to be in a committed relationship, but they found someone that they were truly passionate about. So they got ready, they did the work, they worked on themselves. So they may not have gone into that relationship with the intention of being in a serious relationship, of being in marriage, but they did the work and got there. So this is why I do not like the idea of asking a man, what are your intentions with me? Instead, I would like you to approach this idea a little bit differently. So, one, if you are talking to someone, if you are dating someone, ask them what their future goals are, where they see themselves 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Because if they are talking more generally about their future goals, it's a little bit less pressure than them having to think about specifically you. You're asking what if it goes both ways, as in if you're a woman and you're not intending to be in a serious relationship, you should say that. Um, if you are looking to just date around, to just have fun, to work on your dating skills, there's nothing wrong with those things. You should say it. And hopefully your partner does too. Whoever you're talking to, they do that as well. But this idea of what you should be asking is find out what their future goals are in general. If you ask someone um, where they see themselves, oh, Desi, if a guy is asking you what are your intentions, just what I said, like be honest. If you're looking for a committed relationship, then say so. Also, make it known that you are looking for a committed relationship with the right person. You are not a pick me. You are not desperate. But again, back to what I was saying as far as what types of questions you should ask. If you're asking them about their long-term goals, where they see themselves 5, 10 years from now, then if they're really looking for a committed relationship, something along those lines are going to come up. So, first of all, that is a great way to start right there. Also, you may not think about this one, but when I was single, one of my favorite questions to ask someone was, hey, if you were to win $10 million dollars in the lottery, how would you spend that money? You may be looking at me like, Keisha, what does that have to do with what a man's intentions are for dating and for a relationship? Well, if you want to know what a person's priorities are in general, look at their schedule and look at their bank account. Look at how they're spending their money, how they're spending their time. So if you ask a question like, if you won the lottery, what would you do with the money? Someone who is single, but they're really thinking about, love and marriage and family and all that, is probably going to have some ideas about, putting aside money for a house, or, saving up for even retirement, long-term goals. Think, figure out in their answer how much of that is long-term and how much do they talk in the short term. Because a person who's not looking for a committed relationship in general in life is not looking for a lot of long-term goals. So that whole question about lottery and where you would spend your money is great insight. Another thing that you should consider when you are trying to figure out specifically how someone feels about you is ask them, what is it that you like about me? Now, don't leave the answer at just whatever they say. Because if you've ever gone on any date, if you've ever talked to anyone for any period of time, you already know what the answer is going to be. It is going to be something along the lines of, well, you're pretty, you're smart, you're funny, so you already know what that answer is going to be. I am asking you to go deeper. So if you are talking to someone and you are trying to figure out how interested they are in you, ask them, what is it that you like about me? When they give you the answer, ask them to elaborate. So if they say, I like you because you're smart, then your next question is, why do you think I'm so smart? Or what is it about that you like? Do you like the way I talk, the conversations that we have? Ask them to go deeper. And here's why. If someone is really interested in you, I'll just give you an example. I love my husband because my husband is such a nerd. And it really makes me laugh sometimes because if you were to meet him, you would think that he was all hard and tough and everything. But when you really get to know him, you find out that one, he is a softie, and two, he is a colossal nerd. He loves anime. He loves all these, um, he has all these collectibles. So he just, like, he has all these things that he does that, like, he geeks out on that I find really funny. He's really into, like, the History Channel, just different things like that. Do you see how I elaborated about my husband and his nerdiness? The more a person is interested in you, the more they can elaborate. So if you ask someone, what is it that you like about me? And they say, you're funny. And Desi's asking, what did I just say? So I was saying that the more that someone likes you, the more that someone is interested in you, the more they can elaborate. So if you ask someone, what is it that you like about me? And they say, oh, I like you because you're funny. And you say, what makes me so funny? And their answer is, oh, like you're just funny. You just make me laugh. Then they have some interest in you, but not a whole lot. If you ask them, what is it that you like about me? And they say you're funny, and you say, what is it about me that is so funny? And they start talking about specific jokes that you've told, or they start saying, like, your sense of humor is just like really quirky. I've never heard anyone make jokes like that. Or, you know, you're just really sarcastic, and I love that. I love that you don't mind like going there. I love that you have a dark sense of humor. Or, you don't mind making fun of yourself. Like, you just go with the flow. If they can elaborate, they're more interested in you. If they can't, they're less interested in you. So Olivia's asking, when do you ask a question about that? So, Olivia, when it comes to dating and relationships, and I'll answer your question, Desi, in a second. But when it comes to dating and relationships, you have to remember that at the end of the day, dating is data collection. So the purpose of a first date is to find out whether or not you are interested enough in the person to have a second date. Purpose of a second date is to find out if there's enough interest to have a third date. So if you've gotten to dates one, two, and you're seeing that you're kind of interested in them, then yeah, they should also have similar interest in you at that point. So by the time you're getting to date three, four, you should have had enough text conversations, enough phone conversations, enough FaceTime with each other to say, yeah, I'm interested in you and I can say why I'm interested in you. Therefore, you should be able to explain why you're interested in me. And Desi's asking, what if you aren't good at making jokes? So I just use sense of humor as an example. But whatever the person says that they like about you, they should be able to elaborate. So if they say they like you because you're so smart, they should be able to say, I'm really impressed by all of your degrees. You said such and such, and it just made me really think. That conversation that we had, it just got me thinking all day. They should be able to elaborate on what it is they find about you that is so interesting. So I didn't want to hold you guys very long, but just to recap, I am not a fan of asking, what are your intentions with me? Because people lie. Because people can have good intentions and not good follow through. And because someone who is really interested but wasn't necessarily prepared for that will get prepared. What I am a fan of instead is asking better questions. So ask if they won the lottery, like where would they spend their money? Because that's a good idea to see their priorities. Ask a question like, if, what is it that you like about me? And ask them to elaborate because the more detail they can give you, the more interest they have. The less detail they can give you, the less interest that they have in you. And don't take that personally. So, Desi, if you say that someone's told you that you need to be more interesting, you can always work on your conversation skills because that is a skill. Um, you can always do things like, I recommend signing up for something like the Skim or CNN Five Things. Those are like newsletters that give you a brief on like topics of the news. Get a hobby, find things that you're interested in, and find things that you're passionate about. So, you can always make yourself more interesting. You can always work on your conversation skills. Um, at the end of the day, though, the right person for you is going to find you interesting. Read my eyes. I've been told I'm low energy because I'm a peaceful person, but I love myself regardless of what people think, and being calm doesn't mean I have low energy. Absolutely not. But you are going to have to think about where you're meeting people. Finding people who are also kind of calm and chill, you need to surround yourself with that type of environment. So, um, going to the club, for example, I mean, I know nobody's going to clubs right now because of Rona. I hope nobody is going to clubs right now because of Rona. Um, but obviously, you're not going to find a lot of low vibe, low energy, quiet people there. You're not going to find a lot of quiet people at most concerts. So you have to think about, where do you like to hang out, and where would you find people who kind of match your vibe, who kind of match your energy? Um, because that's really a major part of finding the right partner, is putting yourself in the right environment. So it is so important that you put yourself in the right environment in order to find the right partner. And Desi, yes, I get struggling with people pleasing. Um, we're going to be talking about that soon. um, I'm going to be doing a course on it. You'll hear more about that soon. But also in my lives, my content, we're going to address that. So just stay following me. But, anyways, I wanted to just come on here and talk about how important it is to make sure that when you're asking these questions about, what is someone's intentions for you? Does he really like me? Is he really interested? Go deeper beyond those questions. Go a little bit away from the surface and dig deeper. Dig into what a person really likes about you, what makes them so interested, and dig into how personalized they are. If someone sends you text messages that could be copied and pasted and sent to 20 other women, they're probably not that interested. Because if a message can be copy and pasted to 20 other women, that's probably what's happening. So if the only thing you ever hear from a guy is good morning beautiful, just imagine how many other people are getting good morning beautiful text. I'm just saying. experience.